Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here for the DotaPit League Season 5 EU Qualifiers. I'm Lyrical, going to be joined as well by C and C. And we're going to be taking a look at Team C, Crits, facing off against Adfinum. I know, it's just lovely. How you doing? You excited about game number 2 here?
Yeah, for sure. Seeker definitely won last game's draft. It's very hard, so we'll see how the game's looking after the draft this game. Adfinum can pull together a better squad of heroes.
Well, that's been the big thing, is that it always feels like Adfinum have gone for a little bit outside of the box drafts, trying to catch their opponents off guard, but now it almost feels like catching them off guard is the standard, so teams are ready for it, you know, which is kind of rough. I don't know. I think that Team Secret were really happy, like you were saying, with that draft last time around, and it didn't really feel like it was anything special out of Team Secret. It was just Adfinum kind of outthinking themselves.
Yeah, also whenever you go for drafts like that with a Jakiro, with heroes that require you to make very few mistakes for you to win, it's just, you know, it's making the game very complicated. It makes it very hard to win whenever every mistake just massively decreases your chances of winning. The easier the game is, obviously, the better, because you know, the harder the execution, the more mistakes you probably make because of pressure, etc., and the game just becomes a lot harder. Totally,
I completely agree. Well, and this time around, we're going to be seeing again the usual suspects banned out: OD, the Drow Ranger, Nyx Assassin, a little bit of an interesting one that does signal the Team Secret. Let's get rid of that Bat Rider. Timbersaw is still available, another hero that does struggle with the Nyx Assassin, but it looks like they're going to be taking the Shadow Demon first.
Yep, solid hero. I guess they're gonna try not playing with the Wisp this game after how last game went. Let's see.
Do you think that was the problem though? I feel like the Wisp was the strongest part of their draft.
Yeah, I don't think the Wisp was the problem, but a lot of times whenever you have a game that goes like as disastrously as that one did, you sort of like rethink what you know about Dota a little bit. You know, if it's an important game or something like that, and start to rethink like, oh, was this the problem? Should we try something new? And then you either come back at it like, no, this was fine, we just need to change this, or sometimes you'll just revamp the whole thing because you know really sure what was wrong.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like now Team Secret going to go the same route. Maybe it's just a response to the Shadow Demon in general, but very different heroes coming out. The Warlock and the Bounty Hunter. I'm assuming this is going to be a Warlock support, and let's just work under that assumption for a moment. What do you think about taking your 2 supports first stage?
Typically it's pretty weak because like it doesn't give you any room to counter any heroes later on. It does open up picks for heroes like Storm for the other team later on, because they don't have any catch in their supports, or they're bad at pressuring, so you can pick like greedy junglers, like obviously not in this case because they have Bounty Hunter, but just in general, it's typically not very good. But maybe they have their offlaner, they want to pick it now. I'm sure they have a plan for it, but typically it's not that great.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough, and I mean there is always the option that if they wanted to run the Warlock in a different position, they could as well. We've seen it mid in the distant past, and off lane even occasionally Wings were running it there. I don't know if Team Secret are interested in going that route, but it is a possibility. Darkseer taken as well, just that constant strong presence early on who can get himself into a quick mechanism. The other bans, Slark, a little bit interesting to me. Luna makes a lot of sense given the Shadow Demon. Is it just because of that potential with the Ion Shell on top of it, and can we see Adfinum even replicate that in other heroes?
I think that's part of it. Madara also just plays a really good Slark. It's probably his best hero, so maybe a little bit of a respect ban combined with the Ion Shell synergy. But yeah, there are other heroes that work well with the Ion Shell. Just run at you heroes. Not necessarily in the safe line either, but mid heroes as well. But Slark is just a really good example of one. Madara is very, very good at Slark.
And now we have the Morphling picked up, and then the Mirana answer. I kind of was wondering if maybe an ET might be a good route here to go for Adfinum. I feel like it's one of the best answers to a Morphling in general, outside of just silences. Do you think that they could go that route, or Do you think that this Mirana is going to be in that position where they're roaming around with the Shadow Demon finding kills?
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure. I know Thug and Spartan both play the Mirana. Um,
Reserve time.
yeah, I don't know, to be honest. We'll see. The Mirana is not amazing versus the Bounty Hunter. The Bounty Hunter is very good at the stage where Potom is not. Potom is good at ganking early on, putting pressure, and farming up very quickly. But the Bounty Hunter can stay on top of the Potom, sap her XP, stuff like that. And then in that stage where the Potom is sort of weak, she's level 7, 8, but isn't close to an Ags, the Bounty Hunter is very strong because he has track, and they want to just fight nonstop. And so the Bounty Hunter just sort of like wrecks all of Potom's weaknesses and is good versus all of Potom's strengths.
Yeah.
As a roamer, so I would expect maybe it's a mid, but I don't know.
Well, and it's interesting too because one of the ways that you would see, I mean, wherever Mirana ends up going, you're probably going to be looking at least for a possibility of that disruption into arrow combo, even if it's not like the first and foremost thought. And they ban out the Invoker, but we can go back to that later. The more important thing now is we've got a naked Tiny into an anti-mage as well. So Tiny
that's a
mid.
stun morphling.
You think it's a stun morphling?
I think so.
What makes you say that? Break it down to me.
Seconds remaining.
I think they picked it to bait the anti-mage.
5 seconds
Because
remaining.
the stun morphling is like actually owns anti-mage so hard. It's such a difficult matchup.
Reserve time.
The Tiny I think they picked just because they want to go ham and fight people. But they haven't picked their carry yet. They show the anti-mage, so I think they're gonna pick some other hero that's good versus anti-mage, and then just have that be a stun morphling.
And then have Warlock. So it'd be an off-lane morphling like dedicated, and then have another safe lane hero that gets picked up for secret. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, very interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. If that's not the route, does morphling just really suffer against the anti-mage in the carry role?
It's not too bad. The matchup is very dependent on who's ahead. If the anti-mage is ahead, he absolutely dominates the morphling. If the morphling's ahead, he does fine versus the anti-mage. But the matchup is typically slightly anti-mage sided.
Okay.
If anti-mage is ahead, it's massively anti-mage sided.
Okay. That's a big problem with that as end up happening in that way. And also, one of the things that we could see is if Morphling plays in an offlane role, you get a couple of track kills that come in, and suddenly you have a bonus Morphling. Why not? Does a ton of damage. But in the meantime, it's going to be the Kunkka band out, one of the strongest roaming heroes. It's been interesting to see him. Do you think that nerf to Torrent was enough to just like push him out of the tier 1 hero discussion?
No, I don't think so. He's, I mean, a lot of it is depending on if the team's style likes Kunkka, if they have a good Kunkka player. But no, I don't think that the nerf is like, it's kind of big, but I don't think it puts him in a place where he's like not pickable first two. But I think there are like teams are prioritizing Warlock a lot more. Shadow Demon's still a top tier pick, so I think he's just sort of shifted more to like the second phase, slightly more situational pick. Because of those the small nerfs that have been coming through on him. But I think he's definitely still pickable.
Okay. Now we're gonna get the Earth Spirit taken. Last pick for Ad Finum. Always a very strong roaming hero, and probably could get some stuff done against the Tiny. But the last pick from Secret, will it be an offlaner or will it be a carry? And you said you like the stun morphling more. Do you still stick with that even in the presence of an Earth Spirit and all these other guys?
Yeah, I think so. We'll see. I was right.
Yeah, you were right. CCNC was right. Ad Finum was left. Do you think the Team Secret have outdrafted them?
Wait,
what? Hold on.
Okay, so
it's an offlane Tiny. This is back. This was the Zhao 8 LGD style. Oh my god. What do you think?
Okay. It's definitely interesting. I wonder how I wonder if they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do for lanes. Huh. I wonder if he's gonna try and do that pull thing. Maybe he's gonna have the bounty hunter sit over there and toss the creeps to the bounty and pull the hard camp.
That is a possibility. That actually would be really strong. Puppy was able to do that previously on the Pudge, obviously, in the mid lane. The other thing that ended up working with this before, you had to have like a ranged hero that was over there. I guess they need to break the trees too, probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You might be able to get into. Yeah, I don't know. Wait. Let's see.
Prepare
Okay,
for
so
battle.
yeah, it is offlane tiny. Let's see. It's gotta win. I wonder how they're gonna lane this. If they're gonna do some sort of dual lane, if the bounty's gonna go down there.
I mean, I guess we're still trying to figure out exactly what it is that they're attempting to do, but do you, given what we've seen so far, do you like Team Secret's draft more or less than the last game's draft?
I mean, I definitely don't think they outdrafted them. I think the game is much more even now. We didn't really talk about the Ember Spirit that much, but Ember Spirit as a hero is he's sort of weird because he's really strong for a few minutes, up to like 15 minutes or whatever. He's a pretty strong hero. He's really good at fighting, and then after that, for a long time, he's really weak. So I think Secret's
30
draft is like
seconds to battle.
very much upon like getting some early farm levels on the Ember, and then like getting track online and just like getting online really early. This Morphling may come to fight more early on than Morphlings typically do. Killing people with tiny and just like getting really aggressive. So it's sort of like the tables have turned almost, where Advenom is playing more passive this game, and Secret is the aggressor.
And interestingly enough, they immediately move out, smoke to this camp, realize that they need to block it off, and they block it at the two ends. So this is not going to get dewarded easily, and I don't even think that they have any sentries on Team Secret's team. Yeah, none bought, so an interesting look. And does Puppy get the courier snipe? Oh, he wants it in a bad way. I don't think that's going to happen, though. You have to know that this is coming, right?
Yeah, getting your courier sniped is just like a massive blunder nowadays, because bounty hunter's been popular for so long. It's really hard to get your courier snipe now.
All right, well, doesn't look like it's going to happen as of yet. So do you like the mid one versus, is there anything specific about the matchup against Mirana, like as far as damage dealt and burning through that flame guard?
I mean, they're both gonna farm. Probably neither one of them can zone the other. The Ember has kill potential whenever he has some levels with the bounty. I don't think the bottom's it's probably unlikely that this bottom is killing Ember at any point. Even with a rotation from the Earth Spirit. So yeah, I mean, I think they're both just gonna farm. This lane seems it's gonna be pretty even.
Yeah, up top. Oh, she actually does hit an arrow onto MP and deal a little bit of damage. But yeah, up top, it's going to be the Skylark Darkseer facing off against Pi and actually dealing a good bit of damage to him. He is not going to be able to walk away from that one too easily. So this is a bit of a tough lane up top. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Forev has been zoned out pretty effectively from the lane almost entirely. And Puppy is just trying to soak up whatever he can from the pulls. So this off lane is not going great, and Forev going to take a good bit of damage. Has to throw out the avalanche.
Yeah, they didn't block the camp. They have the ward to see where people are rotating, so they know where the Earth Spirit is. So Forev's probably not going to die in this off lane. But yeah, he may not get too much early on. Puppy's probably going to end up playing around this mid lane, though, because they are committing so many heroes, 3 heroes to the bottom lane. They're not really going to move around. They can see if the Earth Spirit is going other places. Once the Ember Spirit has some levels, you'd expect Puppy to come in and probably try and pressure this bottom, as she is like when the Bounty Hunter has some levels, or when the Ember has some levels, Bounty has like level 2 as the Janata. This bottom is definitely killable.
Yeah. Well, Puppy, in the meantime, is going to go over to the camp and try and deny himself out to some ancients. We also saw Warlock kill himself in the jungle, so all of Secret just not wanting to live anymore. They're going to head back home. In the meantime, MP manning up against Skylark. He's actually out of mana. Had another waveform there. There might have been an opportunity, but don't go for it. And man, Forev has just really been struggling so far. Still stuck at level 2.
Yeah, not the dream game. I mean, he's not doing terrible. Basically 2.5.
Yeah.
There's worse, considering they blocked his pull camp with 2 wards.
Yeah. Definitely hurts. It could have gone a lot worse.
That's silence.
You gonna find him? No, can't get the kill.
That was so weird. He was right in front of him or something, so he just rolled away. If that roll hit him, he might have actually died there.
Yeah, and Ion Shell now on the Earth Spirit as well, claritying up, and they need a little bit more before they can really go for, well, maybe they are just going to go in for another initiation. Spartan now out of mana, though. He has enough for another roll, but 10-second cooldown, needs to get out of there, surged away. That gank did not go the way that Advenom wanted it to.
Yeah, this Darkseer isn't really close to his Soul Ring. He's sort of in a bad position right now. This Morphling is bodying him in the lane, and he's not going to get his Soul Ring anytime soon. Only 5 CS, Morphling with 20. So this Darkseer, even though he's got a lot of levels, is not getting very much farm. And Darkseer needs both as an offlaner, so
Yeah.
kind of
Ooh.
rough.
Courier again going to be brought out. It did just boost, and I don't know if they're going to be able to find it on the way back in. They might be able to. Puppey realizes it's there, hits once, needs a second. Not going to be able to find it, though. Pretty close.
Yeah, he put the second point, his second skill point in Shuriken, so no slow on the Courier with the Janata.
That hurts. That would have been money right there, but not able to find it. In the meantime, mid one is going to be back here again. Didn't throw out enough damage to drop her low enough to make it worried, but nonetheless, still no first blood. Seems like both sides just content with farming.
Yep, there's it's pretty hard for either side to make a kill happen. Have a lot of defensive abilities. Morphling is waveform, surge, roll, ember, shield, leap. Like everybody's just got a lot of escape tools, and not many heroes with like stuns or heroes that are really amazing at rotating. So yeah, just not too much either team can do to make moves early on.
Ooh, they're thinking about it. Puppey is in the area as well. They already throw out the Shadow Word. Now jump forward from Spartan, but Puppey can get a slow onto one of these guys if they're able to find a good initiation angle, and there's going to be the first Shuriken taught out. They need to slow him down slightly. Chains are going to connect, and that's Spartan going down. So first blood goes the direction of Pi, and that's going to help him a good ways there, as he only had an Ironwood branch at the time. So that helps a lot.
Oh wow, yeah. Mid one seems to be very active early on. He's really good at these early rotations, TPing like super early on and making sure he gets there for the early fights and like turning them around.
That's good stuff. And that's always been, I feel like, one of the strongest parts about mid one's play is he's super aggressive. Like at every point in the game, it feels like. And I was wondering how that was going to work with MP, who, you know, obviously coming from that MVP Phoenix lineup, how well they were going to do playing together, and it seems like it's just really worked out well so far. All of the results from their games have been looking good, and well, a roll in though. They have found MP, maybe in a little bit of trouble. Switches over to Strength Form, Waveforms out last second. That Ion Shell might have done enough damage if they could just stay on top of that Morph a little while longer.
Yeah, I was pretty close, but he had the Shadow Word near, so it would they would have had to have those Ion Shells on him like the entire time to get that kill.
Right.
Now Tiny's doing the pulls. Camp's not blocked anymore.
Oh, nice.
Dire's
It's a little bit late,
bottom tower is under
not gonna lie, but it will secure him at least one of these waves here, which is nice. And then we'll send out a pretty large one afterwards. But it looks like they want to get aggressive again up here in the top lane. Has another surge available, but the wraparound will come from mid one. Does he spot out Spartan?
They know they're there. There's no way they backed off. Yeah, they see him.
All right, there's the catch. Chains onto both of them. Triple remnant forward. Oh man, mid one's pissed. Double kill for him. Easy peasy for the Ember.
Yeah, once again, just really nice rotation. They knew both of them were sitting up there trying to set up for a kill. He just walks around. 2 free kills.
That's nice. I always love seeing the triple remnant. It's like, I don't know, it makes me giddy.
Special.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Well, early stages, 7.5 minutes in. AM still leading the CS mark. It feels like he's gotten pretty much everything that he wanted. Is this going to be an AM game where he can kind of just take over, as we do see MP dropping low, waveform away on nothing, no mana? Skylark should chase this, but with Pyle die there, they'll keep him alive.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
waving over that cliff, it was unlikely they'd be able to catch up to him. By the time he got to him, the surge would run out, and the Warp would just sort of waddle away.
Oh, maybe next time might just drop here. Disruption? Arrow? Ooh, nice move.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Close one.
But yeah, dude, is this something that Secret need to be worried about? The AM basically free farming down there in the bottom lane, or do you think they have the tools to deal with them a little bit later in the game?
Yeah, I think at some point they do need to start like making moves on him, trying to pressure him. It's just sort of hard at this point. The bounty isn't really 6. They are giving him XP mid, which is really good. The Ember's just going to jungle until the bounty gets his level 6. And then maybe they'll start to do stuff down there when the Tiny gets some more levels.
Okay.
But as of right now, they can't really do that much to him. But if this Anti-Mage gets to a point where he's ahead, he's really good versus the Secret lineup. The only hero that's really good versus an Anti-Mage on Secret is the Tiny. And that's only if the Tiny is ahead. The Anti-Mage has items and starts getting closer to some tanky items and stuff. Tiny can't really longer burst him, and then the Anti-Mage just sort of destroys their lineup.
And it does look like he might be going back for the Vlad's route instead. Picked up that Ring of Regen. It might just be casual, but it could be what he goes for. Top lane, they're trying to mount some sort of offensive, but they spotted out that Pylai Dai was in the area as well as the Tiny and decide to back out. So nothing really coming of that, and Puppy will just try and keep on soaking up experience to get his 6.
Yeah, he does deward that ward, that fresh ward, so pretty big. Looks like they may be setting up to take this tower bottom. Both the supports are down here. I think they might have... Okay, maybe not. Not sure what they're doing down here.
Well, it's kind of weird because they move up top to try and find a kill against the Morphling, but then they can't really do that. And then, I mean, Anti-Mage doesn't really want to fight right now either. It looks like they're going to smoke maybe? Did they buy one?
They have one on their Spirit, I think.
Dire's middle
Oh, no.
tower is under attack.
Oh, on the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon.
Yeah, it feels a little
Yeah.
discombobulated.
Yeah, there's just not really a place where they can really make a kill happen that well. But they don't really need to at this point, to be honest. Their Anti-Mage is free farming, their Potom is free farming, and when they get some core items, like this Potom gets Ags, the Anti-Mage, they're able to fight quite well with their Spirit level 6 and stuff, while the Anti-Mage just goes around, does his own thing, farms. So I think Advenom is fine with this status quo, and Secret is the one pressured to do something here with tiny levels with the track that they just got. So I think Secret's definitely the one on the clock here.
All right. We'll see if they can make something happen with it. As you mentioned, Puppy, 6 and a bit. We'll be able to start spamming out those tracks. And it looks like they're going to be content to just push down this tier 1 tower in the top lane, which should be going down pretty quickly. I don't know if Advenom really want to come and contest this. They're going to bring in the Ember or excuse me, the Darkseer. Looks like the rest of them all just behind.
Yeah, that's sort of
What? All right. By the time they dropped the rock, Frev threw him forward, and now the rest of Advenom is going to start showing up. They get the Magnetize onto it too. That's a dead Morphling, and just like that, a little bit of an overextension for Frev. He just wants his buddy to die. He keeps throwing pie in, and Frev might end up going down himself. Oh, Frev very low. Not going to end up dropping there. Puppy trying to run away as well. All right, Pylai Dai is just getting bullied a little bit. Now Madara showed up, does have the Mana Void, might be able to bring down mid one. He's still very tanky and doesn't have the biggest mana pool in the world. Instead, turns on to Puppy. Madara wants him, looking for Frev next. Has a blink off cooldown in just a little while and is going to go forward for it. Madara never stopping, double kill for the AM and should be able to, well, he doesn't actually have a TP. Blinks down to the south, and I think he's gone. All right, Frev, we need to talk.
That was, yeah, they popped the Moonlight Shadow. They didn't have detection on the Warlock, and so they threw him in, golemed, and then they Potom ulted away, and then, they've used all their ults, people TP in, and they just turn the gank around. It was really nice rotations, TPs in from everybody. Very quick, a nice stun from Spartan on 2, and then silence. He's actually maxing the silence versus the Morphling. If he had maxed the stun instead of the silence, then the Morphling would have got away. So, an unusual skill build choice according to the game. So, nice, actually thinking about your skill build and not just autopiloting by Spartan. Got them the Morphling kill.
It's a great silence, and actually now mid one doesn't look like they're going to be able to find anything off the back of it, and Spartan might actually go down himself. They have Thug in the area looking for an arrow, something. Shuriken comes out, and that's a track. He'll go into the Bounty Hunter. So just as we're praising him, he goes down. It's the good old caster's curse.
Yeah. Secret definitely needs more of that because the Anti-Mage's Battle Fury just got online. The Potom is only 1k gold from from her Ags, so Advenom is definitely in a very good spot item-wise. So, but Secret does have the tools to make stuff happen with the track, the Ember. He's got his level 10, so he's got all the skills he needs.
Oh man, Thug. There's the Remnant forward, and yeah, he's gonna drop. So just like that, 2 track kills in the mid lane. It does feel like Advenom are getting a little bit cavalier with their play.
Yeah, the anti mage is still free farming though, so they're probably
Radiant's
okay.
middle
Looks like
tower
the
is under
Tiny's
attack.
gonna heal up and come start a brawl.
Oh, rolling boulder in, catches the silence onto MP again. Did manage to get off his strength form that time, so will not be going down here. I don't believe. Well, reapplying the magnetize does some damage, but not enough to kill off MP. And it looks like the rest of the side of Ad Venom need to run out of there. Skylark controlled and brought down. Mid one again finding a kill. 4-0 and 3 for him. He's been very active.
Yeah, once again, mid one making moves early, trying to keep his team in the game. This Tiny is not really had the kind of impact you typically want from a Tiny to have, working on his drums, but yeah, the Darkseer as well. Like both the offlaners are sort of behind right now, not having
Dire's
amazing
middle
game
tower
impact,
is
sort of
under
rough
attack.
lanes. A Darkseer at 3k net worth at 14 minutes is really not what you want to
Radiant's
see.
top tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
The
that
hero
is.
needs to have a good start.
I mean, I guess Tiny kind of does as well, but he's at least got his burst combo that's somewhat there. 3 points in both Avalanche and Toss. So there's ways for them to still find damage, but it looks like they might have found Madara Puppy scouting it out. And if they're not careful, this would be a really huge kill. Mid one looking for it. They drop the rock again onto his head. Can they find the kill? He does not get the blink off. Huge pickup there, and Pi again being the beneficiary.
Structures are fortified.
Yeah, the puppy
Radiant's
keeps being in the right place at the right
middle tower
time,
is under
scouting out these heroes behind towers and stuff, setting up multiple kills. So now they're gonna get this mid tower. So
Dusted? That was close. They do
I don't
run
know
into
about that
Puppy.
roll.
They found him?
Top tower is under
What?
attack.
All right. Inside the Sentry Ward range, apparently. Silence onto mid one. Gets the disruption, keeping him alive for the moment. They don't have Ags yet up on Thug, but do have Starstorm available if they want to go for it. Remnant forward. Mid one, very bold, is going to be able to find that kill with the chains connecting. Still getting chased down. The right clicks are there. His Flame Guard is off. Runs into the arrow. Oh, well played there by Thug. Finds the angle perfectly and punishes that mid one extension.
yeah, that was a little deep.
Oh, and they might have found Pylai Die too. He's going to go down. Well, blink again in a second. Pi, he drops.
Yeah, that was really nice. The arrow perfectly placed where he couldn't walk any closer to the right and didn't have time to walk down. So
Oh, Skylark knows. They realize Frev is there again. Connects on the arrow. Thug finding him. Tossed up into the air, but Frev is going to be the one brought down.
Structures are fortified.
and as we say that Secret is making moves, executing their draft, things go vastly the
Dire's
other
middle
way.
tower has
A lot of
fallen.
writing on the map right now. It looks like Puppy isn't too pleased with what's happening.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, they'll back out of there. And we do have the Yasha completed on the Anti-Mage. He's going to keep on trying to farm up and, you know, get in towards that Manta style. If he gets that before the Morphling gets his E-Blade, how difficult does this game become for that Morph?
It gets pretty hard. It's not even E-Blade. Typically, you don't go E-Blade versus Anti-Mage because you're never going to be able to burst him, and you need to like get to the point where you can take a right-click battle. So he may go some like HOD and like more or Manta, something like that, and go more right-clicky items, and go into a build where you can actually trade. Like I've seen like Garter and Madara, I think, go like HOD Butterfly after the Lincolns, and just like go like very, very right-click oriented, so they can try and fight the Anti-Mage. But it's just like once the Anti-Mage is ahead, he just burns all your mana and you just die so easily. Which is like Morphling's biggest credit is that he's very hard to kill.
Oh my god, Skylark taking some damage. They get the disruption, keeping him alive. Last second, silence on MP. He didn't get his strength form off. He's going to take a lot of damage to this. They might be able to find the kill. He does finally get the strength form off. AM, though, in the meantime, has found Pylai Die, and now the chase could continue. It doesn't look like they're going to go for it, though. Everybody else has escaped, and MP does get out of there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, he just barely missed a stun on this the Earth Spirit, and then the Pada missed his arrow because he was aiming where he would have been stunned by the Earth Spirit. So the spell maybe costing them the Morphling kill. He may have used still live, but would have been close.
Well, we talked about it. Ags on the Mirana. What about this Ember Spirit? How does he fit into the whole context of this draft? He's got his bots. Should be able to finish off the Battle Fury for himself soon. Is he something that Ad Venom need to be worried about?
Not really at all, to be honest. This hero, he's past his peak, and so now he's at the point where he has to go farm, and then he'll be good again at 45 minutes. So you know, Adfin doesn't have to worry for quite a while, over 20 minutes typically. Because the hero just he doesn't do that much with just a Battle Fury. The Battle Fury is a farming item, then you get like a blink, and that's a mobility item. But then you still don't do that much damage, and you're still easy to kill. The hero has very weird peaks, very early on and then very late. So as of now, Adfin don't really have to be worried about December at all, I don't think.
All right. Well, and I mean, certainly don't need to be worried when your AM is up at 12,000 net worth at 19 minutes in. He is very, very happy at this point in time. Madara, not to mention the Ion Shell on top of him. Kind of a neat little steroid towards his damage potential if they get on top of somebody. But it looks like right now, Secret want to try and go for a smoke play themselves. 4 smoked up. I don't believe that was scouted. And looks like Frev is going to lead the charge. Aether Lens Tiny. Not often you see that one.
Very infrequently.
Oh?
I guess you could toss people really far.
They're going to smoke themselves. That is pinged out. Immediately Broken Puppy is going to be found. They're going to go onto the Morphling, get the silence, but 3 people caught with the rock. The Fatal Bonds. It's doing so much damage. Skylark is going to drop double now for mid 1. They get a nice stun through onto several, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Looking after Spartan, they do find that kill. Triple kill for mid 1, and Madara is shocked. My goodness, that was a huge amount of damage done by that. The Warlock even, jeez.
Yeah, that was the dream setup there. The track into the 3-man stun, rock, everything, the bolas. That was so much damage. It was the perfect scenario for Secret.
Yeah, Fatal Bonds is such a great spell. I don't know if they'll be able to catch Madara here. Looks like he's just going to be able to push out these creep waves fairly unhampered. So even though they lose that team fight pretty terrible, well, tossing him in, Madara gonna be forced to blink back. This is actually gonna work out pretty well into their favor. That toss range working, doesn't get it. They do find the kill. Oh man, that with Avalanche toss and chains, they managed to control that AM.
Yeah, he uses his Manta
Oh,
before.
counterplay though. On to 2, silence, doing a ton of damage. They find another combo. Mid 1 might go down himself, reapplying Magnetize. All right, Spartan mixed together with Skylark. They are making the plays. That was great.
Yeah, with the double Starfall on top as well. This game is a roller coaster ride of cores dying. Gracious.
It sort of feels like that Liquid series earlier too, where you get a pretty substantial lead and then suddenly it gets thrown away off of just a little bit of mispositioning and underestimating your opponents.
Yeah, and also a lot of it is the teams realizing whenever cooldowns are down, taking advantage of it, taking fights whenever they have the opportunity and they have the upper hand. And you know, it's not all like mistakes and stuff. A lot of it is, you know, Adfin realizing that, hey, Rock's on cooldown. The Ember Spirit's low on spirits, so he can't really get away that easily and taking good fights, turning it around, and you know, getting map control back, creating space again for the Animage to farm, push out lanes.
Well, it's led us to a, like you said, roller coaster ride of a net worth graph and experience, and we're back to about even. As far as the way that this game is going to continue to evolve from this point on, do you have a side that you're sort of favoring at this point, or that is more happy with the game?
I think Adfin is in a chill position in the game. Like they're still able to just sit back and farm. You know, like play defense, play. They're not forced to be the aggressors. They don't have to make moves. They can just react to what Secret does, counterplay all their moves, and they should be fine.
Oh, Madara manning up, but is going to be brought down. Maybe next time not able to save him with that disruption, and suddenly he is going to drop himself. So a little bit overestimating how much damage they were doing. They don't quite get the courier kill either.
Yeah, he popped his Manta early. I don't think he realized there were more heroes there. I thought he was just tiny, or I think he thought it was just tiny and was trying to get the kill, and then popped his Manta, then everybody else showed up, got bullet, and that was all.
Jeez. Well, that is a terrifying point in this game when you just end up losing your anti-mage for not a whole lot, but Adfinum still pushing out these lanes and going for the pressure on the tier 2 in the bottom lane. Frev, still no Blink Dagger as of yet, but They could just find a kill here if Frev is not careful.
Yeah, if he goes this next wave, they probably will get this kill.
I love this ward as well. Oh, and there it is. Rolling Boulder misses. Does get the silence, but... Oh, you would have loved to find that one.
Yeah, looks like they're trying to turn it around, but they got out really quickly. So, it should be fine. Oh,
Puppy?
He goes down here.
Oh, they need to be careful. Thug is going to scout out this movement in, and there's the Rolling Boulder TP. Tosses the creep, but won't find the kill.
Oh, they have a sentry here. If he doesn't know, he may walk into it and die.
He might just go for the courier snipe himself. I think that they're going to go courier snipe and then afterwards leap TP and should be able to find it. Yeah, just going to give it a little walk back home. Oh, no. Really? Thug, go get the courier.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, he thought he was going to snipe or he was going to cut the wave, and then he saw the courier. Oh, he's getting pinged. Here come the pings.
They realize what's going on. Oh, jump forward. God, Thug. Go home. Just think about what happened. We'll get it next time.
Yeah, I think Spartan was, or maybe next time was the one pinging him. So a little bit of what happened in the Liquid game.
Oh, they found Puppy. Oh, missed the
Dire's
kick.
top tower is under attack.
There's been some, maybe there's some ping issues going on in the EU servers. Mid one takes a little bit of a ion shell damage as he passes by. Didn't look like he noticed though. And looks like that's gonna do it.
Puppy actually completing a whole pipe, so actually pretty huge. That's like a major portion of Ad Venom's damage.
Yeah.
Especially with the changes to the cooldown on Bottom's Zags, like I said before, she's much more of a bursty hero. With the pipe mitigating that initial damage, it makes the Bottom like a lot weaker in team fights.
And I guess that these 5-on-5 team fights, it almost feels like Ad Venom needs to be in these scrappy like 2-on-3 or so engagements. Otherwise, they're just gonna kind of lose to the Warlock ulti. But
yeah, they were in.
Spartan.
Fine. Yeah, they were in such a good position, and they took that turret, or they got destroyed in that fight mid, and a couple of pickoffs. Now they're in a position where they really can't fight them that well anymore. Secret team fight is so strong. They have the pipe now. They still have the rock. Morphling is starting to get to some items, so they kind of just have to wait for this Anti-Mage to get to a point where he just destroys everyone. Pot him to like an Eve later on there. Ad Venom's definitely needs to play it safe for now, or try and find some pickoffs, some skirmishes, like you said.
Ooh. Well, 4 heroes in the top lane, and it looks like Tiny will join them as well. Meanwhile, the Mirana left alone in the mid lane, and everybody says, get the hell out of here. We don't want to hang out anymore. And they will escape. So, Ad Venom continuing to dodge fights, but pulling Secret around the map. They're doing a good job of it.
Yeah, after those kills, Secret up like 3k or something, but with all the fight dodging, Ad Venom slowly starting to pull it back. I think that's just sort of how this game has to go for Ad Venom. If they can dodge the ganks, if they can sniff out the rotations from Secret, then they can probably call their way back into this game. When the enemy gets items, they're able to take fights more easily. But it's definitely very tricky. The Secret is just going to be hunting them for the next quite a while.
And now, Invis, Moonlight Shadow. See if Ad Venom can turn the hunt around, but I don't know. It doesn't really feel like you sort of don't want to get into those fights like we were talking about, and I guess that those are just escape mechanisms with the Moonlight Shadow. But it definitely feels like Team Secret need to find some way to pressure themselves. Or do you think that they just feel comfortable with the game going later until we get like another big damage item up on mid one?
I think Secret's timing is around now. They're much stronger than Ad Venom, and if this game does go late, if Potom and Anti-Mage both get items, there's a period where this Anti-Mage is just insurmountable and is going to just destroy Secret's lineup. So I think Secret is definitely still the one pressured to make moves, but it's not as much of a scary. You need to pressure so much as hey, we should probably pressure. We're strong right now.
Oh, maybe next time, as well as Madara in the area, they should be able to save one of these 2 heroes. And it looks like they're going to try and head out of there. They drop the ward. Oh my goodness. Balls of steel for maybe next time. Hanging out in the trees. Do they spot him? Pili die? T-Peen? They don't get him. Oh, man. Maybe next time. And I mean, Madara here, too. He knows that everybody from Team Secret's in the area. He's going to finish off the wave, try to escape. In the meantime, the Ember Spirit just went down in the bottom lane. Do they get Madara out of there? Trying to TP. They drop the rock. All right, no more TP available. They have the track onto him. Needs to blink out. And, well, I think that this is eventually still going to be a dead AM. But in the meantime, you take a look at the bottom barracks, and they're doing a good bit of damage. Starting to take down that tier 3 tower. Does Madara actually escape? What? What?
MP's TPing.
They want it. Oh, adaptive strike, blink again. Spartan's in the area trying to help out his buddy, and they're not going to be able to do it. Meanwhile, Spartan going to TP out of there. How did Ember die?
I guess he just he poured it in, got silenced, and then bursted by the kick and the Starfalls.
Oh, man, how much worse can that go? You don't find the Shadow Demon. You don't find the AM. You lose your Ember Spirit, and everybody's just run around like chickens with their head cut off.
Yeah, now all the lanes are back in. This Anti-Mage is going to have a couple more minutes of farming time. Going to get it to whatever his next big item is much more quickly. Already has the Abyssal Blade, so that exchange was like ridiculously good for Advenom.
That's the point where you question mark, I think. That's the question mark play. But...
Yeah, that's a classic. You get chased from the top tier 1 all the way around the map.
Oh, and they've got eyes on Forever right here too. They're thinking about it. Oh man, Madara really wants to go, but yeah, they spot out the rest of the side of Secret, and they're not gonna go for it.
Okay, so they do find the ward. They knew they had eyes on him.
Yeah. Well, Thug is gonna keep this bottom lane pushed out. Tier 3 almost gone, and looks like as the Morphling rotates in, they actually are forced to back out. But anybody that comes up here takes a ton of damage from that Mirana combo.
Yeah, and the Anti-Mage is still pushing top now again, so getting close up to this top tower, gonna farm at the enemy jungle, continue to accelerate his farm, and maybe even get this top tower if they don't rotate people, because MP doesn't have an illusion up there, and his TP is down because he TP'd the bottom, so I think they're just gonna have to give this tower up.
Oh man. Playing them, it's just like, it's like a marionette right now. Advenom are kind of just taking over this game, and I like this decision by Secret to go in and take Roshan, but I don't know, I kind of wonder if they're gonna have to like give up a little bit more here even.
Advenom knows what's up. They're gonna force him out, I think. That Roche is really slow.
Oh man, this really hurts. Yeah, and they're all coming back. They realize they can't do it, so
just more wasted time.
The Shadow Demon illusion spam. Oh man, what a hero. Bottom lane being pushed in as well. Thug's able to draw a couple. Meanwhile, off to the side, they're not able to find anybody else. Is Thug gonna get out as well? TP'ing, any way to break it? Nothing. He's gone. Meanwhile, over on the other side, you've got top lane. They're gonna push back in Skylark. The stun onto mid 1. They do drop the rock. Connects onto 3. Skylark, vacuum wall, dropped onto 2. And that should be enough to secure the tier 3 tower. In the meantime, maybe next time is going to drop. So they lose 2, but they take the tier 3 tower and continue to draw Secret all around this map.
Yeah, Anti-Mage only 300 gold away from his BKB now, so whenever he has that, he's basically unkillable. Unless he gets, they find a way to chain stun him before he gets his BKB off.
Mid 1, gonna have to run it out.
He almost died. That was really close.
Man, this is rough.
This is the scariest bit for an Ember, because you want to get a damage item, but this Anti-Mage is going to have kill potential on you, like solo kill no matter what, until you have a Lincoln Sphere, so it's this sort of gross position where you need survivability and you need damage, and you're not good at either of them right now.
Forev is being scouted. He does take down that ward, but that was the blink forward, and now they realize he's in the area. He is dead. Okay. They ping out that mid 1's there as well. Questionable plays.
Yeah, getting a little over aggressive going for the ward. Bottom has the E-Blade now, so a lot more burst damage for her.
Oh man, and now Roshan going down. I mean, they have track on the Anti-Mage, but how do you even stop this? Warlock ulti is still down for a little while now. 70 seconds, and they're just taking Roshan.
Yeah, he is tracked, so they know he's real slow, but there's not too much they can do about this. They have the rock, but
Arrow connects. They aren't wanting to go in as of yet. Puppy keeps on throwing out those tracks. Adaptive Strike goes in, but meanwhile, Skylark silenced, is thinking about going back in again. They have the vacuum, doesn't connect onto anybody, but E-Blade onto Pylai Die. He is going to drop somewhat low. MP now turned upon as well. Doesn't have Strength Form, is going to be able to Manta Style away, and now the Avalanche toss combo comes through. BKB pop from Adara. They do finally drop that wall on the other side of the fight. It looks like they're going to be able to take down the Shadow Demon, so double kill for MP, and in the meantime, the rest of Ad Finum need to back out, at least for the moment. Frev looking for the Mirana, not going to be able to find her. 3 heroes left alive, and it looks like Secret want to try and secure the last little bit of Roshan for themselves.
the
Arrow? Mid one? Can they go on this? Vacuum wall up to the high ground. All right, they're stuck up there for a moment. Tosses the Ember out of there. Okay, maybe they can take something else off the back of this. It doesn't look like they want to go for it, though. All right. We've still got Skylark, who is causing some issues. Another arrow onto Forev. He's dead. Oh, you were stuck up there, Tiny, and now it looks like it's time for them to secure Roshan for themselves. Thug and Skylark are keeping Ad Finum in this.
Yeah, that was a huge vacuum. They got really aggressive. Skylark blinked up there, and then everybody sort of split, and he didn't have a way to vacuum wall in the initial fight. And it broke up a bit, and Mage had to waste his BKB to survive and wasn't able to use it to initiate and like kill people in the duration. Sort of wasted that, and the fight was looking pretty good for Secret, but then they tried to go back in for the Roche, just a little greedy, and everything sort of collapsed.
This is starting to feel like Ad Finum are pulling away with it, and I don't know how exactly you try and take this fight now, because they're pushing down the tier 2. They're gonna be able to take probably, I mean, can they pressure with the Aegis and just send illusions in to take down the tier 3?
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Maybe the Morphling is gonna make a replicate and send it on the Animage Illusions, so they're gonna get killed pretty quickly. They do have this top lane open though, so they may end up just going here and forcing them back.
Well, toss back in onto Pylai Die, tracked, blinks back, stun onto 3, nicely played there as well. Spartan keeping this team alive and good, and like you said, there's the replicate of the Anti-Mage Illusions back line. Mid one is there on top of maybe next time they drop the ulti onto him. Abyssal Blade, mid one dropping low, is going to be able to remnant out of there for the moment though. Silence onto a couple, but the Guardian Greaves will take that off. Pi does still have Chaotic Offering if they want to drop it. They find another kill. Oh, mid one able to take down one. That's Earth Spirit gone. So they were not protecting their back line.
About to get the racks.
Are they actually going to do that? All right. Broken the TP, in some trouble, have a toss combo, Mirana drops.
Animage going ham, the Rex goes down.
Yeah.
Range Rex goes down top as well.
I mean, they're making it work. And Ember found him again, the Shadow Demon. He's gone. All right, so at the end of the day, you lose 3, but you take down the melee barracks, you take down the range barracks up top. A very chaotic fight again, and Secret are kind of just getting pulled all over the place.
Yeah, they're this is exactly what
I can't find it.
yeah, this is exactly what you have to be scared of with the draft with Ember and Tiny and Morphling cores versus an Anti-Mage. It gets to the point where this is sort of the stage where Anti-Mage is just ridiculously strong, and they don't really have a way to deal with him. He has an Aegis, they can't burst him down because he has a BKB, and he just sort of free roams and does that.
Forev. He might end up going down here. They have the Mana Void onto him. They did already lose the Earth Spirit, though. Has magnetized onto several of them. Gets reapplied, going through that stone. Skylark controlled for the moment. He gets the vacuum back onto several. Does not, though, end up dropping down that wall. Still on cooldown while AM's going to push out top.
Yeah, he did end up going Moonshard and eating it, so more attack speed for him.
Yeah. Means he doesn't have buyback for now. So there is still a chance that, you know, Secret find him and kill him off here. This would be pretty huge.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way they kill him twice though, considering the BKB, the magic resistance, Manta, and the Aegis. It seems pretty unlikely they're able to bring him down twice, because their only disables really are the Avatos and then the Rock, and you can't drop Rock twice. So
Well, a very action-packed game, and it does sort of feel like now Secret are lacking that extra little bit of control, as you mentioned. Tiny is going for the Chrysalis. If this is a Bloodthorn, do you like that pickup? Do you think that he goes Daedalus here? It seems like they need more control for the AM.
yeah, I think Bloodthorn is actually quite good here. It's also good versus the Potom. Well, she has BKB now, so it's less good. But eventually it'll get good later.
Oh. Found the Avatos onto Spartan and maybe going to kill off Pili Die, leap forward, still controlled, and they have been able to kill off that Earth Spirit. Meanwhile, the Morphling jumps forward, has found Thug, going to do a lot of damage with the right click. He does have those items now, which make it really hard to deal with. The AM, though, dismantles Forev on the Tiny, so trading off heroes, they lose that Warlock, and that actually is pretty huge. They don't have Chaotic Offering now.
Yeah, the Thug extended a little bit to the right side of the fight instead of collapsing on the Tiny, and so they are even on heroes, even though they don't have Golem. So Adfina may not be able to get our axe here, even though the fight was pretty good for them.
Does seem rather tough, but maybe just going to be comfortable spending those illusions. I mean, these barracks are already exposed across the board. Aegis did just expire, and man, mid one is starting to hit hard.
A little bit of miscommunication there. They could have killed the Ember if he had gotten the Abyssal off there.
Well, it definitely feels like it's still in Ad Finum's wheelhouse where they can kind of do what they want, but what's the play that gets Secret back into this and builds their lead back up?
They just have to counter-initiate in these fights, keep taking fights like that, hoping people go for the wrong targets. They're able to sort of isolate people. And counter-initiate with the Rock, try and keep Pili Die alive so we can actually get it off. Because they can't really initiate fights, because they aren't really heroes they can burst that easily. Like if you use your spells and you burst Shadow Demon or an Earth Spirit, it doesn't really change the fight that much because the animators at the bottom of the Darkseer still just go killing everybody.
Right.
So they're definitely on the defensive, and there's not really that many ways they can make aggressive moves. Also because all their lanes are pushing in, they're down Arax, and the Animage pushes out the lane so fast, as well as the Potom.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Bounty Hunter has himself that Solar Crest. I guess the other thing is just max out damage potentially on the Ember Spirit. Do you think that this is going to be going back for that MKB since we already have the Eagle Song on the AM, or do you just go balls to the wall and take the Rapier?
I think you have to go the MKB. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe you do just go for the Rapier because the Animage, you're not going to be able to kill him in a burst anyway, so you sort of just have to kill the rest of his team and then leave the Animage for last and lock him down. So I think he may actually go the Rapier here. It's just sort of risky because Animage is always going to be able to solo kill you, so if mid one does go for that Rapier, he's going to have to play very, very crisp Dota.
Yeah. And I guess eventually Forev too, finishing off that Bloodthorn, you could get that onto AM, and then you all of a sudden have the way to still hit him regardless of that Butterfly. But man, these illusion spams, it is a hard life right now for Secret to deal with these, because like they don't have anybody really that deals with them well.
Yeah, they do not have any illusion killers except for Ember, and Ember's not good at killing Shadow Demon illusion. He's good at killing flocks of weak illusions, not a couple strong ones.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, Arrow, whoo, always a scary setup if they happen to find it on mid one, who is getting ever closer to either that MKB that we were talking about or thinking back for the Rapier. But regardless, it is a tough life right now.
Oh, it is the MKB. Okay.
All right.
You guys, safe choice.
Probably the better one. We'll see if it ends up paying off. They're taking down that Morphlin replicate. The waveform forward, trying to bring him down. Vacuum wall onto 4. Oh, they get the wall a little bit too late, and now Ember's starting to do a bit of damage. They bring Skylark fairly low, but not dead as of yet. Meanwhile, the Ember Spirit, or Earth Spirit, excuse me, is going to be able to escape him. Meanwhile, top lane also, Madara taking it low. They have the track onto him and dealing a good bit of damage. Is it going to be enough? They get the toss last second. A huge stone gets thrown out, though. Spartan saving the AM's life. Is it going to be for naught, though? They do finally take him down. Mid one in the end with the pickoff. They also find the Earth Spirit, so it looked good for a moment, but at the end of the day, they do lose that AM. And thinking about finding Thug, do they get him? No, not going to be able to.
Yeah, the Animage is basically 6-slotted now, so he's sort of getting to that peak where he's not really going to get much stronger, but this Morphling, you know, he's got his Butterfly now, he's going to get probably a Satanic next, and this is where the Animage has really, like, has issues killing this Morphling because he doesn't have MKB anymore. And Secret has better team fight, so once the Animage factor of, like,
oh my god, toss back in, Thug in some trouble, they vacuum onto 2, but can they find this kill? He's pretty low, they get the disruption, that's going to be some Morphling illusions thrown back at him, and the E-Blade combo goes out, connects onto Forev as well as the arrow, and now he's taking a lot of damage from those Morphling illusions. They turn onto him, trying to take down Puppey as well, doing a ton of damage. Mirana forced to buy back. Secret is doing it. Mid one takes down the Darkseer. Suddenly, have to buy back on everybody. Puppey is going to drop, so they don't want to overextend and end up losing a bunch of heroes here. But with Anti-Mage, no buyback for another little while. Secret threatening.
Yeah, the Ember has gotten to his critical peak where he's finally strong again. He has a lot of damage items. The Morphling didn't go E-Blade. He went a lot of damage items, so now he can actually trade with the Animage. The Animage can't really destroy the Morphling anymore. And with the Rock and the tiny disables, I'd find them sort of falling off to because the Earth Spirit Silence isn't as consistent anymore. The Rock is hard to hit in these chaotic fights, and Secret's just taking advantage of these fights with the track vision, the movement speed, and just playing these fights better, and their heroes are also just stronger now. Ad Venom sort of missed their timing a little bit.
Oh man, and just missing that Roche respawn as well. We'll see if anybody from Ad Venom happens to spot it, because it is going to be back up now. And yeah, it looks like Thug will realize it's there. So pings come out. It does look like Secret, I mean, they have to come and contest this, right? Will they be able to even get there in time though?
They might. It's going to be pretty close. I think they should make it.
All right, Rock available. They're ready to drop it. Wards are in the area as well. Forev drops the Avatos combo. They drop the Rock onto 3, doing a good bit of damage with the vacuum wall onto 4. Everybody's going down. Oh, MP, is he going to be able to get out of there? Pylai Die taking a ton of damage from Madara. Stun goes out onto MP. Triple kill for him. Trying to take down this Morphling. Do they have enough damage? It looks like they will. Morphling buys back immediately into the game. Mirana was able to find that kill, and now mid one trying desperately to keep the rest of his team alive. Man, oh man, 8,000 gold swing, and the Anti-Mage did 8,000 damage in that fight almost. Meanwhile, Mirana takes down the Earth Spirit, in towards the Roche Pit. Madara trying to kill it off. They missed the arrow. Mid one spots him out. Still doing damage to this side.
Be careful.
Well, MP is here. They find him and get the Abyssal Blade onto mid one. He is going to drop. MP, if he dies, he's in trouble. Arrow connects. Oh, strength form switch over. MP's gone, and they might have just done it. Good game, well played. Ends up getting called before MP even dies. Talk about lack of faith. They end up bringing him down, but man, oh man.
Skylark, after that early laning stage, stepping it up and getting those 2 huge 4-man vacuums to turn those fights around.
That was what they needed to do. 7,000 damage was actually dealt in the end by the AM in that one fight. Really, really good stuff. So, Ad Venom, they pull it back. They win game number 2. CC&C, how are you feeling about these two teams relative to each other? Do you have a prediction for game number 3 and what we might see?
I think that draft was Ad Venom favored, but I think Secret played better overall. It's just the slight disadvantages they had in the draft sort of cost them, along with just I don't know, some kind of odd laning. But no, once again, that sort of comes down to the draft. So I think Secret has been playing like slightly better, but I think a lot of this matchup does come down to the draft because they're pretty even.
All right. Well, we'll see who ends up winning the draft. Ad Venom did not pick Jakiro this time around, so things went pretty well. But stick around, everybody. Game 3 will be live in just a couple of minutes. Ad Finum facing off against Team Secret. Again, at Lyrical Dota, at CCNC Dota 2. Follow us on Twitter if you want. And at least for now, keep on following the DotaPit qualifiers. EU edition this time around. See you guys in a bit.
Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2, make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO, guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Round one.